Hello everybody, welcome to Spain, the MXGP of Spain, round 12 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. We're at the brand new racetrack, the brand new facility of Into Xanadu Arroyo Molinos. My name's Paul Manning, thanks for joining us today for our live broadcast of MXGP. A few moments ago we saw MX2 race 1, but coming up next, the first MXGP race today. The Spanish Grand Prix over the years has seen 100 different winners since 1962, the first ever winner, Arthur Lampkin, on a route up in the 250 class for BSA. Spanish winners though, Jonathan Barragan was victorious in MX1 at Bellpuig, the MXGP of Catalonia. He's the only Spanish rider to have won a home Grand Prix. He was victorious in MX3 as well at Alhama de Murcia in 2008 when he rode there as a wild card, but Jose Butron has ridden the MX2 category in the years and also in MX1, the young Spanish, well, not so young now, but he's tried and failed. Jorge Prado tried a couple of years ago at Red Sand, but he too just fell short. Can he do it again today? Tony Cairoli, though, lines up with 4 Grand Prix victories in total in Spain. 2007, he was victorious in Bellpuig. 2011 in La Bañeza. 2015, Talavera de la Reina, and just a couple of years ago, Red Sand. Here is the racetrack. If you joined us a moment ago for MX2 Race 1, you know kind of how it goes now. We utilize the start straight in the opposite direction when we complete the lap and then continue on into the lap. Just over 1,700 meters long. It's a hard packed base here. Ripped heavily, watered heavily overnight. There are some long ruts here and there, but we are now on the home straight pretty much. From here we go to Belgium next week for another triple header, which will be Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Sunday, and then straight on to Italy, Trentino, for the final 3 rounds of the season. So 7 rounds left, including this one here today in Spain. But the weather, fine, and everything else, fine. Here's our quick look behind the scenes, though, at Hitachi KTM, fueled by Milwaukee.
I signed another 2 years with the Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee team, so it was nice to get the signing done for the remainder of the 2 years in my MX2 career. It was just a weight lifted off my shoulders, to be honest. I can't thank them enough, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 years with them.
We're really happy that we've got Connor on for another 2 years to the end of this MX2 career. Hopefully we're just hoping he can ride his full potential and keep scoring solid moto finishes and overall results.
Obviously, the injury in 2019 put me out for the whole year. So when I came back, it all felt completely new to me. But it's nice to now get some consistent results and just race all year, you know, and be at the sharp end quite a few races now.
Yeah, after my crash in Samurai, obviously it was a big crash, big impact. But to be fair, I just love motocross too much to skip it. I think this is just in the paddock is where I belong.
Coming into the 450 class, I felt I had a solid off-season. To start with, it was a lot harder than I thought. There's a lot more risk and technique that we need to change to be on the 450, and I had to start leaning over the front a bit more. As on the 250, it was more about getting the power off the back and getting as much speed as possible, but on the 450, that's what I changed. I'm still learning now, each weekend, and every time I ride the 450, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, we added Adam to MX1. He was looking for somewhere new. He's a nice fit, and it's good to have someone in both classes so we can give the exposure to our sponsors.
So now I'm here with Hitachi fueled by Milwaukee. The transition went really easy. It's a British team. There's people on the team that I've worked with before and I know well. A few setbacks, but we're still working on it and yeah, making progress.
So the last GP in Mantova in race 1 was a good race for me. I finished 3rd. I was on the back of the front too for the majority of the race. I think it's just a case of, for me, to be able to last the race and also the second moto. It's just experience running at the front. It's completely different. Hopefully we can continue to get some good start and yeah, put myself in a great position.
What I like about the 450 class, racing against so many world champions and good riders, it's the pinnacle of the sport, especially how stacked it is this year. It's difficult and that's what I like about it.
I think the track here in Spain looks very nice, looks very fun. It gives me some Qatar vibes.
Our ambitions for the team in 2020 are really just finish every moto, take each race that comes, and hopefully have some top 5 finishes.
My goal's not going to change no matter whether I get on the podium on Sunday or I get on the podium at the end of the year. Still aiming for 2 top 6s and keep getting these consistent points on the board.
My target's pretty much just improve every single race and get a good start and just improve and be consistent.
Well, as you can see, the MXGP riders are out on the circuit now, coming towards the end of their sighting lap, if you like. But a few moments ago, Lisa was down on the grid. She caught up with a couple of homeboys. Red Bull KTM of Jorge Prado, but before that, the number 17 of Jose Butron, JD Gunnex KTM.
So we are almost ready for the first MXGP race of the day. Now I'd like to catch up with home rider Jose Butron for 2 reasons, because it's a home GP and also just to catch up with you to see how your season's doing so far. But firstly, how excited are you to race on home soil?
Of course, I'm very excited to be in Spain. Like you've seen, nice weather, nice track. We are back racing in Spain normally for 4 or 5 years more in this track. The organization makes very good work. Yeah, my season have been not so good like I expected because I'm struggling with ankle injury. But I'm doing my best. Last weekend in Mantova, I did my best result of the season for team.
Okay,
so
brilliant.
I'm coming stronger and feeling better.
And how was time practice earlier this morning? Because obviously it's a brand new track for everyone. Everyone's learning it out there.
Exactly, it's a brand new track for everybody, the same. Technical track, like Spanish system, like medium, not so much hard pack, good grip, the watering good, and nice jump for the public.
Yeah.
We are sorry we cannot bring public this year, but I hope next year for sure it will be full of people.
Enjoy your home GP.
Thank you very much.
From one home hero to another, it's Jorge Prado. Jorge, firstly, you probably don't want to, but let's just quickly reflect on the last round in Mantova. Quite a tough one for you. Have you managed to regroup, refocus, learn anything before your home GP?
Yeah, well, the last 3 rounds in Mantova were all very good. Just pity of the last moto, which I, fell down while I was running in 2nd place. So hopefully we can make another good start here, staying up front, and hopefully we can get that victory. Will be tough, I know, but it's nice. I'm at home, so I'm feeling comfortable.
I mean, it is a brand new track for everyone, but how good are you at learning a new layout quite quickly?
Yeah, it felt good already since this morning, the beginning of riding, and we'll see how the track develops. It's quite hard, and I mean, a lot of ruts, so will be challenging for us.
Okay, best of luck. Thank you. Good luck there to the 2 home riders. It's time for MXGP Race 1.
As always, the riders disappeared out on track then for their sighting lap. But before we line up, let's take a look at the championship standings, shall we? Coming into round 12. Coming into this Spanish Grand Prix, Tim Gajser on 3.99. Tony Cairoli 11 points further back. Jeremy Seewer is 19 behind the Italian. And then Jorge Prado and Glenn Koldenoff both tied on points for 4. Romain Febvre, Gauthier Paulin, Jeffrey Hurling, Slamon de Sal and AJ Arminas Jassiconis round out the top 10. And let's take a look at what happened in time practice a little earlier and who made it to the top spot. Gauthier Paulin, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider, was in good fighting mood, but was only good enough for 9th, just behind Jeremy Van Horvik, the Honda SR Motor Blues rider. Romain Febvre, then for Monster Energy Kawasaki, ended up in 7th, just behind Monticelli, who was 6th for standing construct gas. Slamon de Sal, his best qualifying of the season, in 5th place. Jorge Prado was up and down the top spot, but in the end, the Red Bull KTM rider, 1:51, he was just 6/10 off of the fastest time. Not a bad place to be. Again, Mitch Evans, for the 2nd time this year, 3rd. The Team HRC rider from Australia wasn't able to fend off the late charge from Glenn Koldenoff on the standing construct gas, who was just 3/10 off of the eventual poleman. And that eventual poleman was Tim Gajser, Team 43, the Team HRC. His time of 1:51.274 came on his penultimate lap, lap 9 of 10. Took everybody by surprise, including Koldenoff. For the 6th time this year, Tim Gajser will go to the line on pole. Here's how the riders line up for MXGP Race 1, and later on today, Race 2. Tim Gajser on pole for the 6th time this year, ahead of Glenn Coldenhoff. Mitch Evans, Jorge Prado, Clement de Sal, Ivo Monticelli, Romain Febvre, and Jeremy Van Horvik. Then we have Gauthier Paulin and Calvin Valandrin. Jeremy Seewer is next, Henry Jacobi, Brian Bogus, Adam Sterry, Jordi Tixier, and Tony Cairoli. Valentin Guillo, Dylan Walsh, Petar Petrov, Jose Boutron, and Valentin Artem-Guriev. Brand new racetrack here at Into Xanadu Arroyo Molinos. As you can see, quite rutty. I wonder how Tony Cairoli will deal with that, because obviously when the tracks get rutty, like we saw in Faenza, he was struggling with his knee. Is he going to be struggling again today here? Is he going to be giving up more championship points to Tim Gajser? Number 92 there, Valentin Guillo, former Grand Prix winner in Spain. Back in 2015 at Talavera in the MX2 category. Honda SR Motor Blues rider will be hoping for a nice result here as well, but at the moment, struggling down in 32nd position in the championship. The calm before the storm then. Riders making their way to the grid. Tim Gajser already behind the start gate there. Over on the left-hand side, his teammate pushing his bike to the grid, to the steels, if you like, a few positions further up. So over on the right-hand side, gate number 1, Tim Gajser, Glenn Coldenhoff alongside him. Prado is going to go gate 3. So Evans just giving up a bit of space then, hopefully to get a good run around that first turn. The focus and concentration from Gajser, as always, right there. Glenn Coldenhoff, standing construct gas, surveying the scene around him. Currently 5th in the championship, tied with Jorge Prado. This rider here, Red Bull KTM rider, had a disappointing end to the last round in Mantova, where, like, as he said, he was in 2nd and he ended up falling to 17th place. He was gaining some serious momentum in a charge for the championship chase as well. That's just been halted ever so slightly. Saw Clement de Sal a moment ago. He went to the line 5th. Here's Ivo Monticelli, the second of the standing construct gas riders. He's due a result, isn't he? And Romain Febvre, number 3, already a race and Grand Prix winner this year for Kawasaki. Alongside him, the number 89 of Van Horvik, and then the 21 of Paulin. Then Calvin Valandrin and Jeremy Seewer. Adam Sterry just making his way to the line. Look in the background there, the Hitachi KTM rider fueled by Milwaukee. Just heard from him a moment ago on the pre-grid. But brand new racetrack. Riders saying, obviously, first of all, you've got to learn the track. Then try and find some kind of setup in the free and the time practice session. Jeremy Seewer completely changing his setup, I'm told this morning. So hopefully he's moved in the right direction with that. But everybody in the same position, really. Mitch Evans, only 3/10 off of Tim Gajser, his teammate, in time practice. 700ths off of Glenn Coldenhoff, who was 2nd. The Australian looking keen for a podium. Had 2 5th-place finishes overall. Tony Cairoli not too bothered about the time practice, but more bothered about the result at the race. Anyway, MXGP Race 1 here, round 12 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. The MXGP of Spain, the Fly Racing 15-second board goes up. Who will it be that grabs that all-important foxhole shot? So far, Jorge Prado, there, number 61, has 11 to his name this year. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. MXGP Race 1. Tim Gajser in gate 1. Gets a good jump immediately. So too does Coldenhoff alongside him. But number 61, once again, right there when it matters. And there's about a week between him and everybody else as he takes his 12th foxhole shot of the season. Febvre tucked in there in 2nd position. Evans is 3rd. 4th is Dylan Walsh. 5th, Gauthier Paulin. Then Gajser is in 6th. Then de Sal and Coldenhoff side by side. as we head through those first twists and turns. But on a racetrack here, we saw how difficult it was to pass and make time in MX2 Race 1. Is this a gift for Jorge Prado, or is it too early to say? All of the 450s, all of the MXGP riders getting up over that triple. No problems. De Sal down the inside of Van Horvik. But it's Prado who leads at the first time of asking here. It is home Grand Prix in Spain. Wasn't able to do it a couple of years ago in MX2 when we were at Red Sand over on the East Coast. Gajser quickly making ground. Got Dylan Walsh ahead of him. Oh, deja vu. Right, over the line for the first time. Where's Tony Cairoli? He is in around about 10th or 11th place at the moment. Evans looking to go down the inside of Febvre. But it's Prado who leads. Febvre second. Evans is the lead Honda rider in third. Walsh fourth. Gajser fifth. Paulin sixth. De Sal, number 25, you'll see him interview in a moment, is seventh. Gajser looking to strike earlier, and he does. It was a mistake from Walsh that allows the Slovenian through. So Gajser up to fourth then, as Evans looks to find his way past Febvre. So the two HRC riders pretty much line astern. Just ahead of them, Monster Energy Kawasaki. Oh, and Evans neatly down the inside of Febvre, moves into second place. Runs it just a little bit too wide, but there's that line, look, round the outside. You're staying on the ground, you're getting drive. There's two singles to the inside there. And Evans utilising that part of the racetrack very well. Cuts to the inside here, and he's already going after the number 61 of Jorge Prado. Prado not getting the distance over the triple. Evans looking for a way through, but it's very tight, possibly the slowest and tightest corner on the racetrack there. That right-hander right on the infield section, turned tire number 9 actually. Prado has led for the first lap. Pressure behind him in the form of Mitch Evans. Get a lap time this time around as well. Evans this time going after Prado. A lap ago, it was Febvre going into that same turn. Evans, the fastest rider on track, a 1:56.9, but he's already under pressure again from Romain Febvre, who's regrouped since the finish line. Gajser just there in fourth. Then Walsh, then De Sal, Paulin, Koldenhoff, Van Horvik, 9th. So the Hoff finding his way past the Belgian. Seewer in 10th, Cairoli 11th. Not where he wants to be, a tricky, rutty racetrack. Giving up more points to Gajser as it stands right now in the championship chase. Great overview of the circuit there. See how it dips down to the left, all downhill over on this side of the racetrack. Starting to see how coming out of that banked left turn as well, that inside rut very jumpy now. Oh, quick, nice pull of the tear off there from Evans. Will he triple again? Will Prado not triple again? Yeah, Prado didn't have any problems with it on the opening lap, but for some reason didn't feel something was quite right there in the last lap. First ball separated by 2.6 seconds as they hit the line a moment ago. All led out by Jorge Prado. Mistake there from Evans, though. Allows Febvre a way in. But the Australian's still there, but that has let Prado off the hook at the moment. Will he just run with that? Prado, fastest rider on track now. 1:56.1. Evans' mistake cost him a second or so. He's in the 57s. The guys behind him, Febvre, Gajser, De Sal, all in the 56s. So De Sal has now moved past Dylan Walsh. Walsh in 6th place for JM Honda. Cairoli now to 9th place. This kind of racetrack would suit Romain Febvre, I feel. Quite technical. Doesn't mind a little bit of movement at the rear wheel. Evans dealing with the pressure from behind in that 2nd place. Gajser knows from looking down the track, seeing Prado, Evans and Febvre ahead of him, that his closest titled threat, Tony Cairoli, is behind him. The pit crew would have told him, possibly, exactly where he is, in 9th place. Febvre, oh, just runs out of track there, ever so slightly. Couldn't quite run to the outside. And once again, Evans under pressure from the Frenchman, who will get good drive through the waves here. There was a nice line working through there yesterday, wider, that set you up. He wasn't as wide, but he's made that pass. Oh, back end just a little bit, and Evans has to jump short there. Wasn't sure that Febvre was going to get the drive after that bobble at the rear wheel. So Febvre back in the 2nd. Gajser up into 3rd. All of a sudden, Gajser just had a couple of laps to feel his way. So too Romain Febvre. Febvre, fastest rider on the track that time around, a 1:55.077, and fastest lap of the race. 1.7 between him and Jorge Prado, the race leader. De Salle in 5th, Walsh 6th, Paulin 7, Koldenoff 8, Cairoli 9. Already 11 seconds adrift of the race leader, Jorge Prado. Running around 8 seconds behind Tim Gajser. Gajser looking for more of a sweep through that corner. It cuts back to the inside again. Working outside. He'll go round the 2 moguls here as well. Keeps those wheels on the ground. Does it work for him? Yes, it does. He gets the power down. But Febvre denies him in the next turn. Plan B then for Gajser. Febvre only just over that triple. No change then. Prado still leads. Febvre 2nd. Gajser 3rd. Looking for a new line there. Found one. Evans in 4th. Then we've got a gap, 3 or 4 seconds back to 5th place. Commander Sal. Good to see the Belgian inside the top 5 again. He'll be disappointed that he's not on the rear of this train, though. There he is, just coming over the line. Paulin is up to 6. I think we have lost Dylan Walsh 2 or 3 positions. So Paulin 5th, Koldenoff 6, Cairoli now 7, Seewer 8, Walsh 9, Van Horvik 10, and Evans is down. Evans, where is that on the racetrack? The Australian didn't get over the line. So was that on the iPhone jump? Somewhere around there, Evans disappearing, yeah, sector 4 somewhere, so between the triple jump and then the finish line area. So Prado now leads by 2.7 seconds. Febvre is 2nd, 3rd is Gajser, 4th De Salle, Paulin is 5th, Koldenoff 6, Cairoli 7. Seewer 8, Van Horvik 9, Walsh 10. Gajser trying to pick his lines methodically. Here's Koldenhoff and Paulin. Paulin, the lead rider in shot. The Montreal's Yamaha rider against the standing construct Gas rider. So Paulin in 5th place. So this was Evans a moment ago. It was over this jump. He was already down there, so straight on in the corner. That's a big boulder there as well. Don't like the look of that. Glenn Koldenhoff applying the pressure to Gauthier Paulin. This is for 5th place. Tony Cairoli gaining momentum as well, just in the background. He's in 7th. So Koldenhoff and Cairoli sandwiched between the two Yamahas. Tony Cairoli just set the fastest first sector of the race, so obviously starting to warm up as well then. But leaving himself with a lot of work to do. Gajser is in 3rd, 4 positions further up the track. The lead will be 17 points between the two. Koldenhoff taking the lower lip on the left-hand side and then cuts to the inside of Paulin, and wow, good pass, but very, very close between him and Paulin. And I'm not sure Paulin would have liked that, or anybody would have liked that, but Koldenhoff was committed through the corner. I wonder if Paulin just saw him out the corner of his eye and backed out. Paulin now under pressure from Cairoli. I think Cairoli needs to get through this one as best he can. Goes to the inside. Seewer closing in as well in the background. Tries to cut to the inside here, Cairoli. Through the waves, Cairoli getting alongside Paulin as well, and he doubles past the Frenchman. They're bar to bar as they hit the short, sharp hip jump. Paulin hanging on for 6th place. Here's what happened a moment ago with Koldenhoff and Paulin. Yeah, Koldenhoff cut to the inside there, almost touching the air. Right, Romain Febvre has just set the fastest lap of the race. 1:54.5. He was 1.3 seconds down on Prado, but as you can see, it's not that now. The Frenchman going after the Spaniard. Red Bull KTM rider. Paulin, Cairoli, Seewer. Koldenhoff just trying to disappear on his gas, takes the outside line, gets good drive. Over the line we go. Difference between Prado and Febvre this time around after 7 laps, 1.4 seconds. Jorge Prado looking good, looking smooth, looking confident. Febvre matching him lap for lap in terms of lap times. Of course, he'll believe that he can win this one. So too will Prado. Cairoli still very busy trying to deal with the 21 of Paulin. He found his way past here a lap ago, but was on the right-hand side as they went through a long sweeping left-hand turn. Paulin got his wheels back ahead. Frustrating race this for Tony Cairoli, who's got Seewer bearing down on him as well, on the number 91. So Prado leads, Febvre second, Gajser third, DeSalle fourth, Coldenhoff fifth, just out of sight. There's Paulin, Cairoli and Seewer, 6th, 7th and 8th. Van Horvik about 3 seconds further back, just saw him there, Honda SR Motor Blues. Then Brian Boger's on the Marchetti Racing KTM. Dylan Walsh now in 11th place, after being up front for the first 2 or 3 laps or so. If you're wondering where Mitch Evans is, well, he was running in sort of 3rd, 4th place, 4th place behind his teammate. And then we didn't catch it, but the jump in the background, just the other side of those aero banners, he went off track somehow and went down and has not rejoined the race. "13 minutes plus 2 to go. MXGP Race 1, round 12 of the FI Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Spain. Jorge Prado now 2 seconds clear of Romain Febvre. This battle here, Paulin Cairoli, is for 6th place. Jeremy Seewer not quite close enough behind them. In terms of the championship, with Gajser in 3rd and Tony Cairoli there, the 222 in 7th. The gap goes from 11 points to 17 in favour of Gajser. And including the round here today, 7 rounds remain. So we have this race, another one later on, and then we've got 2 triple headers on the bounce. And what is a very busy period for MXGP. Last week and for the week before that, we had a triple header in Italy, in Mantova, on Sunday, Wednesday and Sunday. We were straight down here to Spain for this one-off race. We head north to Belgium first thing tomorrow or this evening. And we're in the sand of Lommel for 3 more rounds before heading to the hard pack of Trentino. All comes to an end on the 8th of November. Anyway, 11.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Tony Cairoli still going after it. He just got a kick there with the rear wheel and he had to pull out of the triple. Didn't want to chance it. Seewer looking for a way through as well. Seewer not out of the title fight, so he knows a pass here on Cairoli will give him another point, because he's currently on 13 with 8th place. Tony Cairoli on 14 with 7th place. The Jerry Man coming into land. His Honda SR Motor Blues machine. He'll be looking forward to going to his home Grand Prix next week in Belgium. Although he doesn't mind riding sand, he's more partial to hard pack. Is he closing in on Seewer though? Let's have a look. Van Horvik, 1:57.3 that time. Yeah, 58, so about 3/4 of a second he pulled back on the Swiss. Romain Febvre losing ground at the moment. Almost 3 seconds behind Prado. Here's Paulin, he just bobbles through the corner. There's Cairoli, then Seewer, then the next guy in red, Jeremy Van Horvik. Just a bit processional at the moment. And again, a slight bobble there for Cairoli. Seewer might, well, he had a sniff, didn't he? Those 2 moguls on the inside, every time you do that and you're going through the turn, a slight mistake there from Seewer, you're just upsetting the balance of the bike. Not once, but twice. There was a nice line around the outside. We saw Gajser execute it perfectly earlier on in the race. Right, there's the Jerry man, number 89, just coming into view now. Good to see him inside the top 10, and also Brian Bogas as well, the Marchetti Racing KTM rider. So nice little battle between these two. Jeremy Van Horvik currently 12th in the championship at the moment. Bogas 16th in the points. The Jerry man looking like he's getting a good charge, and he's bringing along this guy, 189, Brian Bogas. So Van Horvik, the lead rider in that shot, has had a couple of 8th place finishes. He got a 5th, though, in race 1 at the second Latvian round, which was the MXGP of Riga. Would love to be mixing it with these guys, though. Not an easy class this year in 2020. Absolutely stacked. Jorge Prado, meanwhile, has extended his lead to 3.4 seconds over Romain Febvre this time around after 10 laps. Seems to me that Tim Gajser just making the most of the situation here. He knows he's ahead of Cairoli. Doesn't need to push hard for Febvre. That gap about 3 seconds. And Seewer down. So Seewer has caught out 1 or 2 problems, actually. Caught out 1 or 2 riders, I should say. Just comes in. Wow. Talk about getting violent. The front went, the back came around, it just folded in the ruts, and Jeremy Seewer out of 8th place. Good to see he's okay. Hopefully the front end is okay as well, with the kind of impact that it took. Here's Paulin. So 7 minutes plus 2 to go. Gauthier Paulin over the line. He's put a little bit of gap between him and Cairoli. Cairoli over the line any moment now, 4 seconds. Good steady ride this from Clement de Sal. He's there in 4th place. Haven't seen him this high up in a long time. 2 5th place finishes at the opening round at Matterley Basin. He got a couple of 6 in Latvia in the second round there in Riga. And another 6 in race 2 at the last round, round 11, the round of Europe, MXGP of Europe in Mantova. So 4th place, that'll be a nice little confidence boost. There is Prado. He just set the fastest lap on lap 11, 1:54.495. Hasn't had the opportunity to ride too many home Grand Prix. We weren't in Spain last year. 2018 we were last here, but that was the MXGP of La Comunitat Valenciana. That was 2018. It was his teammate that day who went 1-1. Settled for 2nd and a 3rd. We had no choice. And G seemed a little bit pressured. Probably just coming a little bit too early for him. But here, if he wins this first race in the next 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps, of course, that'll be the first time he's won a race on home soil in a Grand Prix. Jordi Tixier is up to 11th, found his way past Valentin Guillo. Here is Glenn Koldenhoff. 2.59, standing construct Gas. Homing in on the 25, Monster Energy Kawasaki of Clement de Sal, who comes up short and almost goes down. These two fighting over 4th place then, de Sal and Koldenhoff. So 4.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Brian Bogas now found his way past Van Horvik into 8th place. So again, another good ride for the number 189, Brian Bogus. See the difference in lines there. Throttle control paramount through those turns. A lot of movement at the rear wheel. And here, just slightly falling away the ground from right to left. Can't get on the gas too much unless you straighten up, if you like, and just carve a new line. Febvre heading back in the opposite direction. He's still in second position, giving chase to Jorge Prado. Prado over the line, and Dylan Walsh, the JM Honda Racing rider, out of 15th place. Chain has gone. See that hanging off the left sprocket, hanging on the swinging arm there. Gap between first and second now, 5.5 seconds. Prado and top of the screen, Romain Febvre. Febvre had the tools early on in the race to challenge, but Prado has just picked him up and slung him aside. Here's Gajser. He knows third is okay. Still gives him a chance of getting on the podium. But more importantly, he's extending his championship lead over Tony Cairoli. Cairoli in seventh. That gap between them, still 17 points. It was 11 at the start of the day. Looking like he's not really taking any risks, just doing enough to stay there. Thinking about the bigger picture, perhaps. Gajser looking good. It's looking nice and smooth, looking efficient. Febvre just there in the opposite direction. Here is Coldenhoff. He's still there in fifth position. DeSalle just ahead of him around the corner. I said before, not an easy place to make up time. And when you do, not an easy place to make a pass. Artem Guriev here, 5.55. Finding himself in the points now at the expense of his teammate, whose chain issue putting him out of 15th place. Coldenhoff coming into land. 14 laps in the books for him. Just over a minute to go, +2. 6 seconds separate first and second and third. So this was Seewer's crash a few laps ago. He's now in 10th place. Watch how quickly this thing escalated. Folds the front the wrong side, and then it just tightened up on him. Goes over on his head, and the bike just ends up further around the corner. Very lucky to get away with that one, Jeremy Seewer. Slight bobble there. So the Montrealese Yamaha rider losing again valuable points. He was just behind Cairoli, looking to challenge the Sicilian, who he's also fighting for in the championship, but 22 points behind him now. 19 it was at the start of the day. Here's DeSalle. Coldenhoff getting closer again. Cairoli on his own in 7th place, 4 seconds down on Paul Ann. And Boga's about another 4 seconds further back. Championship's still not over for Cairoli. Probably the track that he didn't want to come to, probably something like this, as rutty as it is. When you've got a knee problem and you need to go whether it's left or right, doesn't matter. There's some deep ruts either way. Here's Febvre. Been a good methodical ride for him. Monster Energy Kawasaki rider. There's Prado, your race leader. These two now separated by about 7 seconds. He's looked sublime, hasn't he, really? Picking his lines. When you've got 7 seconds, you can do that. You can afford just to take your time, almost go slower to go quicker, so you're more precise. Just barely on the throttle through there, just rolling it on, probably just tiptoeing around there in third. Just low revs. One gear change there, up and over the triple. And then the single. Getting ready to take the one lap board then, Jorge Prado. Done everything right. Picked up a foxhole shot right at the start of the race. Weathered the storm from Mitch Evans early on, and then Romain Febvre. And as he heads into the final lap, he's just 2 minutes away from taking the checkered flag here for the first time on home soil. And he looks like he's having a great time as well. Putting the disappointment of a race 2 crash in Mantova behind him a week ago. Here's Romain Febvre, 6.5 seconds further back. Tried early on, but just wasn't able to match Prado for speed. He'll go back, regroup. Never know, might make 1 or 2 suspension settings or mapping settings. First time here for everybody, of course. Pretty much learning as they go. There's Gajser in third. Team HRC, likewise. Didn't make a bad start, but was in sort of 4th or 5th early on. Found himself past Walsh a lot earlier than he did a week ago. Found his way into third when he made his move on Mitch Evans, his teammate. And shortly after that, Evans fell. Didn't see it. Just saw the aftermath. But crucially, for Tim Gajser, 2:43, vital championship points. Jorge Prado, 4 or 5 corners away from home. The Red Bull KTM rider has just looked immaculate. Ah, nothing like a good showboat. That was nice. Wheelied the first 3, doubled the last 2. Just starting to get loose now. And Jorge Prado, at home, the Red Bull KTM rider, over the final jump. He takes victory here in race 1. And that is a big win for the number 61, Prado. Febvre over the line in second. Third, Tim Gajser. And a good share of the points for the 2:43. Extends his lead over Tony Cairoli in the process. I bet he's barely even broken a sweat, Jorge Prado. Looked like he was out on a training ride. DeSalle 4th, Koldenhoff 5th. Paulin crosses the line in 6th. Here's Tony Cairoli. He'll be disappointed with 7th, but he's got another opportunity in which to pull back some points later on today. Just over 2 hours' time. Then we've got Brian Bogers in 8th, Van Horvik 9th, and Jeremy Seewer after that crash. Lucky to pick himself up, finish the race in 10th. There he is, just coming over the line now. Then we have Tixier, Guillo, Monticelli, Valandrin, Jacobi, Vutron, Petrov, Sterry, Valentin, and Guriev. And hopefully, Lisa is getting ready to speak to our race 1 winner, whose focus now has to be on race 2. getting a good start there and try not to think about it too much, but going after the Grand Prix, of course. Henry Jacobi coming through there in 15th, then Boutron 16th, Petrov 17th. Anyway, here's Lisa Leyland getting ready to talk to Jorge Prado.
Jorge Prado, another foxhole shot. You look very smooth, very confident out there, pretty much a perfect race. And your first GP race win on home soil, so it's a special one for you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, first time I get a GP win here, or well, moto win here in Spain. Racing the World Championship, so I'm feeling very happy right now. I mean, winning here, it's special, so hopefully we can do that in the second one as well and get the main victory. So let's go for the second one.
Good luck for race 2. Thank you.
Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, then takes his 3rd race win of the season. One of 8 winners, of course, to win a race in MXGP this year. Never won at home before. Well, he's halfway there now with his first victory on home soil in the Premier class. He does it here at Into Xanadu Arroyo Molinos. Can he do it again in race 2? Here's official confirmation then of MXGP Race 1. Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, ahead of Monster Energy Kawasaki's Romain Febvre, Team HRC's Tim Gajser. Then it was DeSalle, the standing construct Gas of Glenn Coldenhoff, Monster Energy Yamaha, Paul-Ann, Cairoli, Bogus for Marchetti Racing KTM, and then Van Horvik for Honda SR Motor Blues. Seewer, Tixier on the JT 911 KTM, Valentin Guillo, Eva Monticelli, Calvin Verlanderen for Gavin Van Venrooy Yamaha, Henry Jacobi for Yamaha SM Action, MC Muri, J1 Racing. And then we got Boutron, Petrov, Sterry, Valentin and Guriev in the points today. Here's what happened MXGP Race 1 though, just a few moments ago. Jorge Prado was quickest to react from gate number 3 over on the right-hand side. Gave himself enough room to sweep around as well as he went in search of and easily picked up his 12th foxhole shot of the campaign. Dylan Walsh up the inside in 2nd, but then got denied in turn 3 by Romain Febvre. Febvre was in 2nd position. Evans was 3rd. Gajser then made this pass on Walsh to move into 4th. Walsh was pushed back to 5th. He would eventually not finish the race. Evans, though, was on a charge. Charge down the inside of the number 3 of Romain Febvre. Moved into 2nd. And even challenged for the lead. But then he ran wide here. After Febvre had already made a pass, Gajser also pushed his teammate back to 4th. Gajser then around the outside, couldn't make a move on Febvre at that moment. Tried for a couple more laps, but wasn't able to do so. Tony Cairoli found his way past Dylan Walsh. But Evans was already out on the deck at that point. It looks like he may have landed hard on that stone as well as he ran off the track. Good to see him picking himself up though, but does not look good on that left shoulder. And Coldenhoff scythed his way down the inside of Gauthier Paul-Ann. That put him up into 5th place. That's eventually where he would stay, but Jeremy Seewer, the biggest crash of the day, lucky to pick himself up. He rejoined the race and eventually came home in 9th place. Dylan Walsh, though, threw a chain whilst in 15th. But on the final lap, watch this. 1, 2, 3, pop, double. Jorge Prado enjoying his run towards the finish line, unchallenged. 7 seconds he won the first race by. His first race win on home soil in the World Championship. Take a look at the foxhole shots, shall we? And, well, we already know. Should have just gave it to him when he hit turn 2. Look at that. How many bike lengths? Jorge Prado then with his 12th foxhole shot of the season. And from there was no looking back. Eva Monticelli on 3. Jeremy Seewer 2. So too Tim Gajser, and then Febvre, Coldenhoff, Erlings and Jacobi all with 1 apiece. A little bit of water going on as we wait for MX2 Race 2. Let's take a look at some of the best moments in the meantime, shall we? Some of the best moments from MXGP Race 1, and obviously that culminating in a win for Jorge Prado. We'll be back in just over an hour's time for MX2 Race 2, and after that, MXGP Race 2. So hope you can join us then. See you soon.